Hey cats, welcome to my next video lesson. I want to talk about rhythm changes. This is kind of one of those enigmatic forms in jazz that pops up all the time, almost as much as the blues. So where does rhythm changes come from? It comes from the old tune I Got Rhythm, written by George Gershwin back in the early 20th century. And a lot of folks, a lot of jazz musicians realized these are cool chord changes to solo over, so they wrote new melodies over it so they wouldn't have to pay, copyright if they recorded it. That's often what happens. You don't have to, you can't copyright a specific chord changes, but you can copyright melodies. So they wrote tons of new tunes over these classic chord changes. Of course, I Got Rhythm sounds like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That kind of vibe. Of course, Flintstones. That's it too. Anthropology by Charlie Parker. So many hundreds of examples. But I want to talk about these chord changes because they can be very tricky for improvisers because rhythm changes is usually fast, and there's a lot of chords and a lot of different variations of chords that you're going to see out there, and it can be very daunting. You can feel very boxed in, especially when we're talking about this chord scale thing like I was kind of ranting about in the last lesson. So I want to talk about kind of the main harmonic function of the tune and maybe how we can strip away some of the extra fat of the chords and talk about just the real meat of it. So I'm going to improvise a couple choruses and I will talk after about what I'm thinking. I'll have one chorus in this tempo. Okay, so there's my chorus. So over the A sections especially, the A sections go like this. We're in the key of B flat. 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, F minor, B flat, turn around on the 4 chord, sharp 4 diminished, 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. So there's a lot of stuff happening. There's so much movement. There's a chord every there's a chord every 2 beats, and that's just ridiculous. If you want like 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's super fast. So if you want to try to hit all these chord tones, make all these chord changes, it's gonna be really, really hard, and it's gonna really get in your way of making something happen that's melodic and really just sounds good over rhythm changes. So the way we can kind of internalize this, I've written it out for you. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, this is a 32 bar form. I've got my A sections written out here, and I've got the bridge down here, and then it goes back. It's A, B, A. 32 bar form. So traditionally we have 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. We have a turnaround to the 4 dominant chord and a sharp 4 diminished and 3, 6, 2, 5, etc. Again, so much moving, but underneath, I've written in Roman numerals. I've written the really kind of the main harmonic function, like what's really happening in the tune if we were really to kind of strip things away. So in the first measure we have the 1 chord. In the second measure we have the 5 chord. Then again 1 and 5. Well, you're thinking, I don't see the 1 chord here. Well, this D minor 7, the 3, is really the same as B flat. Really a B flat 6 chord, B flat D, F, G, is quite similar to a D minor. Only a couple notes off. And really, the 1 and the 3 chord in a major key are very closely related, so they can sub for one another. That's why you see this all the time. So this is really just the 1 again, and then same thing, the 5. Right? So we can strip away some of these chords, which we'll do right now as I go through this. Take away the G7. Take away the C minor 7. Well, you could take away both these if you wanted and make it B flat, which I'll do. Okay. This is, a heavy reduction, but this is really in essence what it is. B flat, F7, B flat, F7. All right, cool. And now we have a turnaround to the 4 chord. I have very messy handwriting, I'm sorry, but I'll send this in a PDF. F minor 7, B flat 7. Well, at fast tempos, you can take away the 2 chord. That's just always going to happen. 2 chord is really so closely tied to the 5 chord in any 2/5 that you can disregard the 2 chord because it's just kind of a buffer, just adding some space. We don't need space if you're playing really fast. So this is 5 of the 4 chord, B flat 7. Okay, so we have a B flat 7. Sorry about the light. Then we resolve to a E flat dominant 7. And this E diminished is again a passing to the 1 chord. So that's one we can kind of take away. So right here, all we kind of need is an E flat dominant 7 sound. Kind of gets us that nice bluesy sound, and that's all we need. And then from here we have, 3, 6, 2, 5, and then back to the top. So that's again a 1 and a 5 function. So let me go back here. D minor 7, G7 turns into B flat 6 or whatever B flat sound, major 7, all that stuff. And then C minor 7, F7 just turns into F7. So we just have 1, 5, 1, 5, 5 of 4, 1, 5. So I'm going to improvise. And that's what I was basically doing over that track. But I'm going to make it really clear for you. Myself adding a couple double time licks at that tempo, but really I was thinking 1 5 1 5 5 1 7 4 dominant 5 1 5 1 5 7, 4, 7, 1. That's all you need. And the bridge is fairly self-explanatory. It's kind of funny because the A sections have so much going on, so prescriptive sometimes, because you see all these moving chords. Then the bridge opens up, where now instead of every 2 beats having a new chord, we have every 2 measures. So we go to the 3 dominant chord, D7, and then it just goes through the circle, ending back up to the 1 chord. So we have D7 for 2 measures, G7 for 2 measures, measures, C7 for 2 measures, F7 for 2 measures. These chords go around the circle of force, and they're all dominant chords. And the 2 measures long, so there's a lot more space to think there. Of course, there's some tricks and hacks and different ways to get sounds over the bridge, but that's usually not what trips people up too much. You finally get to the bridge like, oh, okay, a little bit of relief there, some respite from all these chords. But I encourage you to try playing rhythm changes with this overall harmonic scheme, going really between 1, 5, 1, and 5, and then 5 of the 4 chord, 4 dominant, and back to 1, 5, 1, etc. And really, I'm thinking in the key of B flat. And you can get away a lot with even B flat, kind of bluesy or pentatonic material, because a lot of these chords have some of those notes in it anyways. And when we reduce it to 1, 5, 1, 5, that puts it so strongly in the key of B flat that you can get away with a lot of bluesy stuff. So I'll do an example, really leaning into the bluesy elements of this. So you saw I was really just thinking very bluesy, B flat blues scale. Especially in certain parts like the 5th and 6th measures where you have the dominant 1 chord going to the dominant 4 chord. Those are very, those are very great places to incorporate the blue note, the E, and the flat, so the flat 3 or the sharp 9 and the sharp, and the flat 5 rather, the D flat and the E natural are both great places to use those blue notes in measures 5 and 6, but really they work over all of it. Just like when we play the blues, traditional, dominant blues, we can use the blues scale over all the chords because they all generally fit in that tonality. So we can kind of strip away rhythm changes entirely to a bluesy tonality. Totally works. Maybe it's not something we want to do all the time for every chorus, but it's a way to get past all the different chord changes and try to make some music and make some nice melodies over it at least.